All right, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. It's evidently from what I'm seeing outside, we're fixing to get another little storm pattern going on. I guess it's according to the weather. I think we're supposed to be doing this every day this week. Every afternoon is going to be a storm. So, yay! I ain't got to cut grass. Yeah. Anyway, I want to apologize to everybody that's watching because everything behind me is we're getting the house ready for sale. And once I get the house sold, then this old boy is moving back to Nashville and we're going to have a studio down there and it's going to be nothing but a whole lot of fun because I like the virtual stuff, but I really, really do enjoy better the sitting across from somebody and having a conversation and being able to shake their hand and, hey, what snacks you want, and all the good stuff because you just never know nowadays. But anyway, we're going to carry on. This is wild and crazy because I'm not going to lie. I honestly really, really, really looked up this young lady who has, I got to tell y'all, 1 minute she's there. No, 1 minute she wasn't there. And now she's there, but she's there in a big way. And it's like she is climbing so fast. It's just great. Anyway, y'all got to talk to her because she's cool as all get out. Little Miss Sara, am I saying your last name right? Angel?
Sara Angel. I mean, in Spanish, it's Sara Angel. Here, I say Sara Angel. It's honestly, I'll take either one.
Either one? Okay. Well, okay, it's you.
Yeah, but it is technically pronounced Sara Angel.
Okay, and yeah, I ain't good with other languages. I just
if Sara Angel works honestly all throughout elementary, middle, high school, college. Like I just said, Sara Angel. It's easier for everybody. Same thing, spelled the same. So a little pronunciation doesn't really make a difference.
Well, I mean, what threw me off was when I was looking at all your stuff and everything, and I was like, wait a minute, is that a check above the A? What?
Yeah, honestly, you want to know why I have that little thing above my A?
Yeah.
So when I was registering the first song I ever released, there was already a Sara Angel on Spotify, and I was trying to prove like I was the first Sara Angel. Like, how do I prove this? But there was no way for me to have it. I might go back to if it's possible without the little apostrophe on top, but it doesn't bother me. In Spanish, it's actually grammatically correct with the little dash on the top.
Say, I was never good at English, so
Yeah, it's all good.
it gets crazy.
It does.
But I got to know this because you don't run across many artists that have a dad that's in a band and your mom was doing the gospel Christian artist thing and just like some people want to keep it quiet, some people revel in it, and I just got to know, when did they actually did were they like training you to be in the music industry, or was it just something that you just faded into?
Not at all. I think so growing up they always wanted us to try everything. I mean, they put me in from ballet all the way to taekwondo. Like I had to stay in taekwondo till I was a black belt. Then they would also
Awesome.
put, like piano lessons, art lessons. It was always like a do everything, creative, sports, whatever you can, and figure out what you want to do, like what you're passionate about, right?
Yeah.
And I actually realized I was very passionate about arguing, so I loved I loved debate. So on middle school, I was a huge I loved going to like the debate class, or every time we had to do some sort of argument. Like I loved that. So I thought originally I wanted to be a lawyer, and then I realized I was a little. I really like to like talk to people and more connect rather than fight with them. I
Yeah.
myself enjoying that a lot more. So I wanted to be a psychologist. And then all throughout high school, I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to be a psychologist. I love this. But since I was very, very little, I liked to write songs.
Right.
But it was never like, let's take Sarah to a songwriting class or not even a singing class. It was always, what do you like? Do what you love, right? What feels true to you. And then last year of college, my senior year of high school, right before I was supposed to finish submitting my college applications, I said, you know what, I think I do want to do music. I mean, I've been writing songs since I was in like third grade. I remember my first song was called Rotation of Feelings because it was the way I express myself. Like I liked a boy, I wrote about it. I got in trouble, I wrote about it.
Right.
And it was also kind of like a little escape for me because my parents didn't know English very well at that time. Still, they kind of like keep learning because we speak Spanish at home. A lot of our friends speak Spanish, even though we like live in the U.S.
Right.
And yeah, I decided I wanted to study music, and here we are now. But definitely didn't feel like it was like you have to do this. They were definitely really happy about it when I told them like I want to do music because, like you said, it's what they both do.
Yeah.
But I never felt any pressure from them or anything. Just always a lot of support, whatever decision I decided to make.
Well, see, that's something I really like because, sometimes parents have a wonderful way of trying to steer their children to do certain things. But they went the opposite direction. They actually listened to you and what you needed and then supported you with it.
100%.
And, my hat's off to that because it puts it more in your court where you actually know what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though half the time you didn't know what you were doing, but, you did it anyway.
Yeah. And I think even though like they didn't tell me to do it, they still, now that I am in it, they always give me like the best advice that they can, help me out with like to their knowledge, like what they think I should do maybe. And it's always instead of a do this, it's more of a we think this would help. We think this would benefit.
Right.
It's a great, great dynamic. I know a lot of kids don't like working with their parents. Sometimes maybe I don't like it, like anybody, because it's hard when it's like your parents are your parents, but they're also your boss technically.
Yeah.
Like weird, but I love it. I'm very grateful for them. I have a lot of admiration and I honor everything that they've done. I look up to them a lot. They're like, aside from musicians, they are genuinely the best parents I could have asked for. So I'm very, very glad to be in this position.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I said, my hat's off to them because I've seen a lot of people grow up with like parents that were like, no, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to be a lawyer. Yeah, I couldn't. No, I think mine would have been happy if I was just an auto mechanic or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just the craziness of it all. Third grade, and you wrote your first song.
Third grade. Well, I kind of remember how it goes. It was like, I think I was in class and I saw a clock. And I remember I had like my first crush ever on a boy, third grade. And I was like, kind of, sometimes I'd think about him, sometimes I wouldn't. And then he gave me like a little gift for Valentine's Day. And then I remember like my heart like exploding, like feeling, I was like, I'm in love, like this, like I couldn't stop thinking about this boy. And then it was like it's my rotation of feelings. It's like a clock from 1 to 2. Like it was something like that. But then it just became like a thing, I guess. I remember writing a song almost every day or elaborating on a song. It's like sometimes I would work on a song for a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever. It was always on my iPad. I remember they gave me an iPad in third grade, and I would write everything in there. I had hundreds of notes by the end, and to this day, it's still kind of like my comfort. I'll like go to my iPad or my phone, and I'll go to my notes app and like just write on there. I guess it became like just a comfort thing for me. But yeah, since third grade.
So I'm going to ask this, but I got a feeling you've already done this. Have you ever revisited them and thought about actually turning them into a modern day song?
You know what sucks? I did try one time because I still have that iPad. But I can't manage to get it on, or I think I was able to turn it on once, but I couldn't remember the password. So I'm still hanging on to it because maybe in the future I'll like try to fix it or something. But I would love to see what I wrote in the past because I can't seem to remember much of it. Just
Right.
that first song that I'm telling you, I'll always remember that. But yeah, I haven't been able to revisit that.
Was the password the hot guy that you?
It was probably like his birthday or something, or like I don't even know. That's a good point. I should try that. I think I still follow him on like Instagram. I think. So
Wow.
I could reach out to him and maybe ask him what his birthday is and see if that was it. Because I don't know.
That would, yeah. I got to be honest. If you do that and it works, I got to know.
Oh, I will. Because I had never thought of that. I was just trying like the easy stuff, like 1 2 3 4 4 3 2 1 0 0. Like I don't know what third grade me would have put as the password.
There ain't no telling. It could have been your mama's name.
It could have. You just never know.
No, you don't.
Your thinking changes so much every year. Like I noticed so much change, even in my writing. Like every single year, you change so much. So it would be if I can't even remember what I thought last year. Like, God, for third grade, that would be a little hard.
Yeah. I think I remember third grade, and it was like wheels on the bus go round and round or something.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. I mean, my childhood and everything, I was just like, I remember 3 words: no, stop it, and what are you eating?
Yeah. You said you grew up in Nashville, right? Or
I was actually born and raised in Nashville.
Oh, that's awesome.
I remember when fanfare started back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually got a 20-year anniversary pin that you like put on your shirt or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was from fanfare back in the day when it was at the Municipal Auditorium.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Mama always made me go with her.
Where is it? I'm assuming like maybe by Broadway. On Broadway.
No, Municipal Auditorium is up where I can't remember the name of the road. That's what's weird. I can't tell you names of roads. Yeah. I can put you in a car and drive you right to where it is. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. But no, Municipal Auditorium is probably one of the oldest buildings around as far as event size venue.
Okay.
That's where I seen Kiss, AC/DC, Rush, bunch of them. I mean, it was just, they came right to Nashville all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And still to this day, so many people are coming here. Now you see like all types of artists coming through here, so it's awesome.
Oh yeah, and you know there's even that crazy Scottish guy Cullum that's here. So he's an artist.
I'll look him up later. I don't think I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's funny as all get out. I really liked him. We had a whole discussion about wearing kilts. So
on the podcast.
Yeah. When we was doing interviews down there at the CMA Fest this year, we actually had a little discussion about going on stage and singing wearing a kilt, you know.
How did it get to that?
I have no freaking idea. That's what I love about my show, because
one conversation leads to another.
You never know what rabbit hole you're going to run off in, or rabbit trail, or what's going on, because you know, once you start having a really good conversation, there's no telling what might jog in your memory, and you bring it up, and
Yeah.
away you go.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And what was the final thing? Is he gonna wear a kilt?
No.
Well, you tried.
No, my legs could not handle it. I'm telling you. I'm too old for a kilt. I think certain people are just, when you reach a certain age, you don't need to be wearing things that show your legs.
Okay, that's a fair point, I suppose.
Unless you have like some really nice leg tattoos or something, I mean, that'd be about it.
Yeah,
It gets too crazy.
it does. Life gets a little too crazy sometimes.
Oh, every bit of it does. I mean, it just, and that brings up another thing. I actually put you on the thing as a country artist.
Oh, really?
Yes.
No. Maybe one day we'll do a country song, but I don't do country at the moment.
Well, see, I hadn't listened to your stuff yet or anything. And then I had my assistant going, hey, I need these. And I'm like, okay. And I'm putting them down and everything. And right when I added your picture to it, I was like, wait a minute.
This isn't a country artist.
So I uploaded it because, artists do different type pictures and stuff, And then I was doing some research on you and looking at stuff, and I'm just like, girl, you are killing it on Instagram, TikTok, and I'm just like, you're young, you've got that whole formula for that, and it blowed me away, the stuff that you've posted on there and everything else, and you're really connecting with your fans on all of it. And then I'm listening to the music, and I'm just like, I can hear some like country undertones in some of the lyrics.
Yeah, I think I have some like country influences. Like since I moved here, I didn't listen to much country before I moved here, to be completely honest with you. But then I moved here, and I mean, you're full of country everywhere you go,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I grew to love it. And I definitely would say I have some country influences. Like, I don't know if Casey Musgraves is like country, but she has, to me, I hear some like country influences in a lot of her stuff, and she's a huge, like, one of my biggest inspirations, like songwriting wise.
And she's got a good voice.
Yeah, she does. I don't know how that came.
There's no telling. It would help if I actually turned the comments on. Rachel said Municipal Auditorium is on James Robertson Parkway. So.
Oh, okay. Well, now we know.
Yeah, now we know. Now everybody knows. Thanks, Rachel. Appreciate it. But yeah, it's just I was reading stuff on you, and this is actually what I read. It says indie pop, R&B, and Latin influence on your vocals and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I'm listening to the music, and I'm like, I can see hints of all of it in there. Mm-hmm. And I hear a little bit of that country undertone in the lyrics.
Yeah.
Because you're actually telling a story with your lyrics. Yeah. And I love that. But what I was hearing is something that I haven't heard before. And it was like, I told my daughter, I said, yeah, Sarah's going on my playlist because.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I mean, the way that you blend all that together is really unique.
I think, and I'm really happy to hear you say that, because that was kind of the goal. It was to blend, like all these influences that I have, or at least like sounds that I like and I enjoy singing and whatever, together.
Right.
So I released a song called Echo. Was one of my favorite songs. It was the first song I did with the producer I'm working now. His name's Joey. He lives here in Nashville. And I told him, I love telling my story. I love, talking, like I said, since I was little, it was kind of like I felt something and I wrote about it. Through experiencing like heartbreak or whatever, it's always been my let's just write about it. Let's not waste our 20s on a feeling sad for a boy. Let's use it somehow.
Well,
So even though I start writing maybe on the piano or something, when I got into the studio and actually started creating like the production, he said, let's try a little bit of this, let's try a little bit of that. And, I come from Mexico originally. I was born in Mexico, moved here when I was 5, 6. So I hear a lot of like Mexican um, singers and their music and songs in Spanish, all the way from like ballads to reggaeton. But I also live here and I listen to country, I listen to R&B. So I I've tried to make a fusion of all of these things that I love,
right.
and still maybe create something new, create a new sound, but something that still feels like me. Because I think I am kind of like a blend of things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're nailing it because
Thank you so much.
when I did the promo for the show, I actually found Echo and put it on there.
Oh, really?
And I was just like, then I'm listening to it, the full length of it and everything. And I was just like, yeah. And actually, when Echo quit and I started listening to What's Love.
Okay, yeah, that's my most recent release.
Yeah, I started listening to What's Love. And that's when I was like, she's going on my playlist. I mean, I like how you're doing it, and What's Love tells such a deep story when it's talked, I mean, I was just like, wow.
Yeah. I think that song has connected with so many people, and it really fills my heart to hear so many people connecting with it, because originally, of course, like I said, like it comes from like a personal experience, right? I lose someone, I write about it, let it out, make it into a song. But then while I've been performing it and putting it out into the world, like all the people that have responded to the song have told me like they've connected with it all in their different ways, which at the end of the day, that's my goal, right? To connect with people, to give them something where they can also find comfort and heal with whatever it may be. I got the chance to perform the song live back in San Antonio, Texas, which is where my hometown is.
Yeah.
And there was a lady that came up to me after the show, and she said, like I lost my husband recently, so I that's how I connected to it. Like I really needed to hear that, so thank you. Or other people, like I just went through a breakup, or my friend doesn't talk to me anymore, whatever it is, and we've all lost someone. So
Yeah.
I think anybody that's lost someone can connect to it in the way that feels true to them. So it's kind of amazing to hear that.
I was blown away by it, and I'm just like, where in the heck are these little thumb things coming from? Did you just?
I have no idea. I think, is it when I go like this? Yes. I don't know how I'm doing that.
I have no clue because I mean, I'm like, let me try. Let me see. No, it's only doing it on your side.
I'll try to keep my thumbs away.
New song on your category to write is thumbs up. Oh God. But yeah, it was just I was really, really, really pleased.
Thank you.
With a lot of the stuff that you're doing. And one thing that I do preach to a lot of people about on the show is make sure you do your social media and all that other good stuff, because we're in an era now where fans and people that haven't heard your stuff before, they're connecting with social media so much, and then they're going and streaming it and doing all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling you nothing new because you're 22 years old. I mean, when did you start messing with Facebook and all that other stuff? What, 10?
I don't remember. I had social media when I was little, but nobody really knew like what we were doing. It was kind of like I would post pictures of like a tree or my dog, or it was kind of like a new way of texting. I remember being in middle school and having Snapchat but not really using it. I think it was in COVID when I really started to go into social media. I feel like people did. I remember I started doing TikTok, and just because I was so bored, it was kind of all we had to do sometimes. Um, that's really kind of when I really started to use more of my TikTok or Instagram stuff. And now, of course, with music, I try to use it as much as I can because, like, I like to go live sometimes. Like, if you can't tell, I love talking. I love talking about whatever. So I'll go live sometimes and just interact with everybody that follows me. I love to answer their questions, just hang out. Like, I'm very grateful for all the support that I get from anybody, and I want them to know me for me, aside from just like what I get to tell them through my songs, because there's a lot more to me that I have to offer than just the songs. Of course, that's like, what I'm giving you, but I'd love to actually get to know everybody that's connecting with everything.
Yeah, and that's that's a big thing too, because now it's like when you do a show and you got a merch table and you're selling merch and stuff like that, these people are loving every minute of that because they're actually being able to see you face to face and shake hands and get an autograph and buy a t-shirt, and just, I think it's heightened the whole live music experience.
Totally. And I think when you go and you actually see someone that you've like been supporting for so long, it's always exciting. Of course you're gonna want the shirt, of course you're gonna want to talk, of course, whatever. And I feel like here in Nashville I see it a lot. I've met a lot of like smaller, bigger, whatever artists that I go and see, and it's just seeing so much community and so much, like, Nashville is just something I've never ever experienced anywhere before. I've gone to a couple different cities in like the music world in this last year, but nothing has compared to what I've experienced here. It's quite beautiful
and crazy.
Yeah, definitely crazy. I think since I'm more in like the smaller artist area right now, and the singer-songwriter, it hasn't gotten too crazy for us yet. But it's kind of it's amazing.
Well, what I've always found wild is you go to Texas,
Right.
and I think every little location has its own pace that the music goes at, and the business side of it and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And then you come to Nashville and everything's 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And then you hurry up and wait.
It's crazy. I was just in Mexico with my family, visiting my grandparents and going on a little vacation with my family, and we were talking about how we're all always in a rush. We're in a rush to go nowhere. So, let's just live day by day, moment by moment, and have a much better life just being present.
I think you're able to concentrate more on life like that,
I agree.
because when you get in that 100 mile an hour trying to get everything done, you miss so many things.
Definitely.
It's like, I might meet somebody, they'll tell me their name, I won't remember it. But 10 years from now, I might see them at Walmart or something, be like, dude, and
I saw you. Yeah.
I remember you, man. It gets crazy like that. But, I think a lot of people need to slow down a little bit more and notice more things that are going on around them.
Yeah. I think it's easy to get caught up in everything and, want to just go, 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 especially when you're in the industry. I mean, like it can get pretty hectic. So it is important to just have some sort of balance, or like, to me personally, I find it a lot with like prayer, that I just not put myself, because it's a very, like, you have to think about yourself, you have to think about what you're gonna do next, whatever. So just put that aside for a second and just meditate, journal, whatever it is, just to get out of that for a second, for a moment.
Oh yeah. You know, it's amazing what a little bit of a 2-minute prayer can do for you.
Yeah, I agree.
And then you're on to see the deed. Yeah.
And then we're on to the podcast.
Yeah. And then you're doing this. And then, like, you know, sometimes people just sit back and scratch their head like, what in the world am I getting into now?
You know, I had no clue what I was coming into today. I was like, well, I wonder what he's going to ask me. But that kind of keeps me, like, it makes it exciting, too. Like, well, let's just see. Let's have fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a firm believer, you know, because I wished a lot of the time when I was younger, I had that attitude of it doesn't matter, just have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I think things would have been so much better. But now that I'm fixing to hit that big number, I'm more attentive to the heck with the drama and the bull crap. I don't need this crap, you know?
Yeah.
Give me some fun. Let me enjoy something, you know? Let me, like one of the pictures on your Instagram. Let me take that moment where that waterfall is coming down and I'm standing in it, and let me just enjoy this moment.
Yeah. Oh, you did really do your research then. I forgot about that picture.
Yeah, it's amazing. I actually look at stuff.
That's funny. Yeah, that picture, I think if you're talking about what I think you're talking about, that was in Mexico, I believe, a couple of years ago, right before I moved back to Nashville. It was one of the best trips in my life. I actually wrote a couple of songs there too. That are,
it was because I remember it wasn't a big waterfall. It was like more of a central stream coming down, and there was like a creek that it was landing into, and there was a bunch of rocks.
Oh yes, that was in Mexico.
Yeah,
that was in Mexico.
Because I was sitting there looking at that, thinking, "Man, I want to go there."
We'll take a trip to Mexico.
I've been. Where was that? Los Cabos, I believe it was.
Yes, I feel like a lot of people from here go over there to visit.
Well, I mean, Sammy Hagar's bar is there. You've got to go see the bar.
I have never been there. I've never been to Cabo.
It's wild because when we went, there was a bunch of me and some friends and stuff, and the girl I was seeing at the time, and we went down there, and we actually went out on one of those boats. So you got to see there was two different beaches on either side of a big rock structure.
Yeah.
And the rock structure actually had a little tunnel going through the middle of it.
Mm.
And what I found most fascinating was the guy driving the boat said, "This is the wedding beach." And he said, "Let's go around this way and I'll show you the divorce beach." And I'm like, "What?" Well, the wedding beach was like this small. I mean, it was small.
Uh-huh.
Go around to the divorce beach and you could have put probably 1,000 people on that beach. I was
no.
like, what in the heck? But we got to see the whales.
Yeah.
That was something I'd never seen before in my life. And I loved every minute of it. They were jumping up in the air and you could
It's breathtaking, isn't it?
Oh man. I mean, it was so majestic.
Mm-hmm.
I loved every second of it.
I've only seen a whale once in my life and I'm never going to forget it. I remember I heard like the little noise that they make.
Mm-hmm.
It made me cry. I was like, why am I crying? It's so incredible how small we truly are in this world. Like this world has so much, and it's crazy to think about.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I love the water. It doesn't matter if it's fresh or salt. You know, I just love the water. I love hearing it. I just put me in like Panama City Beach, take a vacation.
Yeah.
I can literally set out on the balcony and just listen to the waves and just be at total peace.
Me too. I love it so much.
And
anywhere where there's rocks and water, I'm there.
Yeah. It's something about I don't know about you, but to me, it's something about the noise, the different noise that comes off of it, the different sound, you know?
It's just peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I love a good tan, so I can't,
Yeah.
The water is just, that's my comfort place for anything really. I think there's definitely a study that says people are happier if they live by the water.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's the only bad part with me is, you know, because I'm out in the weather every daggum day, I'm wearing shoes and socks. So when I'm only in swim trunks, I got white feet. I'm tan everywhere else, but I got white feet.
It happens.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Because you never know, man. How are you writing your songs? Are you doing it basically on piano or?
It always depends. You know, the process can vary. I think sometimes I think my favorite way to write is on piano. Because I like to sit down and just kind of play what I'm feeling, say what I'm thinking. But sometimes I'll be in a group. Sorry, go ahead.
I was watching some of the videos and stuff, and there were several of them with you playing the piano, and I'm just like, damn, that girl's good.
Yeah, it's funny that you asked that too, because a lot of people do ask me sometimes, like, what's your process for songwriting? And I say it's just so different. It can be anywhere from making a voice note, and sometimes I'm showering and I think of something, so I'll grab my phone, record what I think about, and then go back to showering and then touch back on it later.
As
If
long
I'm in
as
a group of people.
your phone's waterproof, right?
Yes. Well, I mean, I don't get it wet. I try not to. I'll just like dry my hand really quick, do it, put it back. But if I'm with a group of people, we'll just be kind of like splurting out ideas. Sometimes we'll tell a story and then go from there. It kind of just really depends what's going on.
Yeah, because I mean, that's one of the big things now is like a lot of people aren't just writing their music, you know, like back in the day. Now you've got, you know, some co-writers that can come in, put their feet in on it and all this other stuff. And I actually want to go to like, if there's a people that are sitting down in a group and writing a song, I don't want no credit. I don't want nothing. I will sit there and shut up. But I just want to watch the process, you know, because it seems fascinating.
It is, and it's crazy because you just never know what's gonna happen, right? Like you don't go and have the song, you go and create something new. Well, you're gonna have to come into one of my sessions if you ever want to. You're more than welcome to come.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
Yeah, of course. Just let me know. And like I said, I mean, you never know if it's gonna be a good song, a product, like whatever. But I think whatever the scenario is, whether it was a good session, a bad session, it always has some fruit to it because you learn from both experiences. I think if you had a bad session, you just think, okay, well, why was it bad? What could I do to improve it? And like, no idea is a bad idea. I think it's always good to just think of something new and maybe touch back on it later if it wasn't the best. It's all fruitful.
Well, the only thing that, and honestly, I've thought about this a lot because, well, I mean, I do this show, but anyway, I've thought about it and I'm just like, how do you get, say, let's go with a low number. Say you got 3 writers sitting in a room. One person comes up with an idea. How do you get all three songwriters to connect on a song that could be gut wrenching or a heartbreaker or something of that level? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I think everybody's gotten drunk and went four wheeling and stuff, but to like experience a breakup or something like that, how does everybody get connected
Mm.
on that same hurt level to write this song?
I think everybody does it a little bit different. I think when I've gone into sessions where it's more kind of like an exercise for me because we're given a prompt, let's say, write a song about how someone went out to the park today and met the love of their life. Okay, let me just think of a story, so we're all kind of thinking about a story. That's one example. But for me personally, if I actually, you said a low number, but to me that's the perfect number. Like three songwriters in a room is like perfect for me. I usually don't like to write in a big group because I can get a little overwhelmed. So
Right.
I will be in like a small group and I'll share my story. Like maybe I'll come with an idea. Like I started with this and I really wanted to write about what happened in my, I'm just giving an example. What happened in my breakup last year, I was going through it and this happened, he said this, I did that, whatever. And even though maybe they haven't gone through it, you never know, they may have, they
Yeah.
can still maybe empathize and um, go a little deeper into the song. But I think you do have to be very vulnerable with the songwriters that you're working with
Right.
in order to get, the most authentic and um, best song you possibly can, which can be a little scary, but when you do, I think you get really good
Yeah.
results.
Yeah. Because that's something that's always I've wondered about, and it's like, because I mean, like I said, you can find guys that have gotten drunk and danced in the headlights and went four wheeling and mudding, and almost just about everybody out there can relate to the breakup and the girl king his jacked up nice truck. It's just there's so many different things that runs through my mind on how all this is happening and what's going on, and I find it fascinating.
Yeah, and I think there's no wrong answer or right answer. Like, I think like let's say you and me were gonna write a song. Our breakup stories might be very different, but we both felt that pain. We both felt something, and I think when you hear a song from, I don't know, who's your favorite artist?
uh what genre?
Or let's say one of your favorite songs, and tell me a little bit of it, like what's it about?
uh well, this is a song that Jason Aldean released,
Okay.
and for the life of me, I don't understand why it didn't go higher than what it did.
Mhm.
But it was basically talking about the love of his life. He's been out on the road. He's been passing all these places and everything else. And the only thing he can think of is he can't wait to get home and see her on the front porch
Mhm.
wearing his sweatshirt, fresh out of the bath with her sweet tea, and just waiting on him to be there.
Yeah. And see, I'm gonna have to listen to that song because it sounds cute. But
It
what
is.
I was trying to get at is like maybe that story isn't like exactly what you went through and want to see, right? Maybe you want to see her holding a Coke instead of a sweet tea. I don't know. Like, but you still connected with it and you still like it so much, right?
Yeah.
So kind of the same thing in a song, right? Like in a room, it's like maybe we don't all want the same thing, but we feel a common feeling. I hope
Right.
that made a little bit of sense.
Well, I mean, I had somebody else told me that they love listening to stories, and then they could make a song out of stories and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's fun too.
Drove 7 million miles, and I can't tell you how many artists I've done lights for and sound for, and I'm divorced 3 times. What stories do you want?
Hey, well, we're gonna have to do another one of these because you're gonna have to share some stories. Because I would love to. You already gave me some inspiration. That's a really good story, actually.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy as all get out. Everything that people go through. I mean, nobody's got the same story. That's what I find fascinating about life.
Everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own, like we were talking about earlier, their own opinion, their own. Everybody's voice matters. So yeah. It's kind of beautiful to hear what somebody else's journey of life has been.
Well, see, my thing is, and I've been like this ever since I was young. I'm a firm believer that even though you wrote this song and you forgot about it or you didn't want to put it out and it's in the back of a closet somewhere next to some wore out Nikes or something, I'm that guy that still wants to hear that song. Mm-hmm. Because to me, there are so many songs out there that are just begging to be heard, because you never know who it might help or who might relate to it, or for that matter, it might save somebody's life. You just don't know.
You just don't know. Totally.
It's crazy as all get out. We're going to do this again because you got to get off here. I got to get off here. We got stuff to do.
We were about to get deep.
I know, right?
We will definitely have to do a part 2. It's been so great talking to you. Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun. Can't wait to hopefully do this again, and
it'll be in studio.
That would be amazing.
I'm telling you, you know how you get that like giddiness ready to I mean, that's what I'm waiting on. I mean, it's just like, God, I can't wait to do it because it's going to be so much fun. And where we're going to do the studio at, you can actually get a tour bus in, or you can, like if somebody's out on the road and they want to swing through,
you
can get a tour bus in there, and there's plenty of room, secure, nice little area. And I'm just going to love every minute of it.
I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see you in person there.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely do it. Sara, please tell everybody where they can find you.
Yes, you can find me on social media everywhere, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. It's as Sara P. Angel, SaraPangel. And then on YouTube, I am Sara Angel MX. And you can find me anywhere you listen to your music as well, as Sara Angel.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for being on. This has been so fun.
This has been very fun. I can't wait to do it again.
Awesome. I love it. So tell everybody bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
All right. Now, that was fun. I mean, I love getting basically the story of what people are going through and how they're writing and getting everything out there. And you just never know, man, because like me and her were talking about, everybody's got a story and nobody's story is the same. And that's what I love. There's a lot of stuff out there. Y'all go check her out and listen to her music, stream it. I'm sure she's got Spotify and everything else. You are going to be amazed because she has taken the indie pop, the R&B, and the Latin and mixed it all together in her own little form. And dude, I'm telling you, it works. And go listen to What's Love, because I don't care who you are, you're going to relate to it. It's going to touch you. This is a really good song. And Echo is really good too. Y'all go check it out and listen to it. We're getting out of here. It's been a long day. Love y'all. Mean it. See you. Bye.